My mentor said, "I'll recommend you for the management position." I worked unpaid overtime for months. He gave the job to his nephew instead. Said family comes first, while I had rent to pay. Hey, Reddit. Family comes first, Dennis said, standing in front of the conference room whiteboard like he was delivering some profound life lesson instead of destroying mine. I stared at him, at his nephew Trevor sitting there with that smug smile, at the promotion letter on the table with Trevor's name on it, the position I'd been promised, the one I'd worked 60-hour weeks for, the one I'd sacrificed my relationship for. "You're joking," I said. My voice came out flat. "Dead." Dennis had the audacity to look sympathetic. "I know you're disappointed, but Trevor's family. I have to look out for my own. I'm 33. I've been at Westfield Analytics for 7 years. Dennis has been my mentor for 5 of those years. Or so I thought." The meeting ended. Trevor shook Dennis's hand. I walked out. My hands were shaking when I got back to my desk. 60-hour weeks. Unpaid overtime. Weekends. I'd canceled my birthday plans. I'd missed my best friend's wedding because Dennis said we had a critical deadline. I'd broken up with my boyfriend of 4 years because he said I was married to my job. All for nothing. Let me back up 6 months. It was March when Dennis first mentioned the management position. We were in his office, going over quarterly reports. I'd just finished a presentation that saved the company $300,000 in projected losses. "You know," he said, leaning back in his chair, "Patricia's retiring in September. That regional manager position is opening up." My heart jumped. Regional manager. $15,000 raise. My own team. Real decision-making power. "I've been thinking," Dennis continued. "You'd be perfect for it. Your analytics work is the best I've seen in 20 years. You understand people. You're a natural leader." Really, I couldn't hide my excitement. He smiled. That warm, fatherly smile that made me trust him. "Really, I'll recommend you. But between now and September, I need you to really prove yourself. Show the executives your management material. Think you can do that?" "Absolutely." "Good. This stays between us for now. Don't want to jinx it." I floated out of his office. The overtime started immediately. "Hey, can you stay late tonight?" Dennis would ask. "I need this report polished before tomorrow's meeting." "Sure. I know it's Saturday, but could you come in? Just for a few hours. This client presentation needs work." "No problem." I hate to ask, but Sunday afternoon? The CEO wants numbers for Monday morning. I said yes every time. My apartment got messy. I lived on takeout and coffee. My friends stopped inviting me places because I always canceled. My boyfriend Nathan started fights. "You're never home," he said one night in May. We were supposed to have dinner. I'd texted him at 7 that I'd be late. I walked in at 11. "I'm working towards something," I told him. "The promotion. It'll be worth it." "Will it?" "You're exhausted. You're stressed. You're never here. It's temporary." "Is it?" "Because it's been 2 months of this." "Nathan, I need you to understand." "No," he interrupted. "You need to understand. I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm dating a ghost." We broke up that night. I cried for an hour, then went back to work on the laptop Dennis had given me. There was always more work. June came with bigger promises. "The executives are really impressed," Dennis told me over coffee. "Keep this momentum going. Show them you're indispensable." So I made myself indispensable. When Patricia got sick and missed 2 weeks, I covered her workload plus mine. When the summer intern quit halfway through, I took on his projects. When Dennis needed someone to fly to Chicago for a client emergency on my birthday, I booked the flight. My best friend Melissa called me 3 days before her wedding. "Please tell me you're coming," she said. "Of course I'm coming. I wouldn't miss it." "You promise?" "Because you've been MIA for months." "I promise." 2 days before the wedding, Dennis walked into my cubicle. "Crisis. The Anderson account is falling apart. They're threatening to pull out. That's $2 million in revenue." My stomach dropped. "The wedding's this weekend." "I know, and I wouldn't ask if it wasn't critical. But you're the only one who can fix this. You built the relationship with Anderson. He trusts you." "Dennis, it's my best friend's wedding." He sat on the edge of my desk. Put on that sympathetic face. "I understand." "I do. But this is part of being in management. Sometimes you have to make hard choices. The executives will see how you handle this. It'll show them you're ready for leadership." I called Melissa. Told her I couldn't make it. Work emergency. She didn't yell. That would have been easier. She just said, "Okay," in this small, hurt voice, and hung up. We haven't really talked since. I saved the Anderson account. Dennis praised me in front of the whole department. Said I was exactly the kind of dedicated professional this company needs. It felt hollow, but I told myself it would be worth it. July. August. The overtime continued. I was running on 4 hours of sleep most nights. My bank account was growing because I had no time to spend money on anything except rent and food delivery. I'd lost weight, had dark circles under my eyes. My doctor told me my blood pressure was elevated. You need to reduce your stress, she said. Soon, I promised. Just a couple more months. In late August, Dennis took me to lunch. The promotion's basically yours, he said. The executives love you. Patricia's retirement party is next week, and then they'll make the official announcement. You've earned this. I almost cried with relief. All those sacrifices, all that work, it was finally paying off. There is one thing, Dennis added. My nephew Trevor is starting in the department next week. He just graduated college. Business degree. I'm hoping you can help train him. Show him the ropes. Of course, I said. Trevor showed up the following Monday. Trevor was 23, fresh out of state college with a degree in business management and approximately zero work ethic. So what do you actually do here? He asked me his first day. I explained analytics, data interpretation, client relations, report generation. He nodded along, clearly not listening, scrolling through his phone. Trevor, you should probably put that away, I said gently. Dennis will. Uncle Dennis is cool about it, Trevor interrupted. He knows I need to stay connected. Uncle Dennis. Over the next 2 weeks, I tried to train Trevor. He showed up late most days, left early others, took long lunches, spent half the day on social media. When I gave him assignments, he'd do them halfway and expect me to finish them. Can you just handle this? He'd say. I've got plans tonight. I complained to Dennis once. Just once. He's young, Dennis said. Give him time to adjust. Remember, you were new once too. I was never like that, I wanted to say, but I didn't. Patricia's retirement party was September 15th. The promotion announcement was supposed to come the Monday after. That Friday, Dennis asked me to come to the conference room. Big announcement, he said. Smiled. I walked in thinking they were going to congratulate me early. Do some pre-announcement celebration. Trevor was sitting at the table. Dennis stood by the whiteboard. I wanted you both here, Dennis began, because you've both been instrumental these past months. And I'm excited to announce that the regional manager position has been filled. My heart pounded. This was it. Trevor, Dennis said, turning to his nephew. Congratulations. You're our new regional manager. The room tilted. What? I heard myself say. Dennis kept talking. Trevor brings fresh perspective, new ideas, and honestly, he's family. I trust him. I know he'll grow into the role with the right support. Trevor was grinning. Thanks, Uncle Dennis. I won't let you down. I couldn't breathe. Dennis, you promised me this position. I said I'd recommend you. Dennis corrected. And I did. But the executives felt Trevor was the better fit. Liar. Complete liar. I've worked here for 7 years, I said. My voice was shaking. I've worked 60-hour weeks. Unpaid overtime. I've sacrificed everything. And we appreciate that. Dennis interrupted smoothly. You're a valuable team member. But management isn't just about hours worked. It's about vision. Leadership. Trevor has that. I looked at Trevor. 23 years old. 2 weeks of experience. On his phone right now. This is insane, I said. Look, Dennis said. And there was an edge in his voice now. Family comes first. I have to look out for my own. Trevor needs this opportunity. You're established. You'll be fine. I have rent to pay, I said. I have bills. I gave up everything for this. That was your choice, Dennis said coldly. No one forced you to work extra hours. The betrayal hit me like a physical blow. Trevor spoke up. Hey, no hard feelings, right? You can still work on my team. I'll need a good second in command. Something in me snapped. Go to hell, I said. To both of them. Then I walked out. I sat at my desk shaking. 7 years. 7 years of loyalty, hard work, dedication. For nothing. I pulled up my email. Started typing my resignation. Then I stopped. No. Walking away would let Dennis win. Let Trevor coast into a position he didn't earn, didn't deserve. And I'd be unemployed, broke, with nothing to show for 6 months of hell. I deleted the resignation email. If they wanted to screw me over, fine. But I wasn't going down without a fight. I spent the weekend documenting everything. Every email Dennis sent asking me to work unpaid overtime. Every weekend I'd come in. Every promise he'd made about the promotion. I had emails, text messages, Slack conversations. I built a timeline. Monday morning, I requested a meeting with HR. Helen from HR looked uncomfortable when I walked into her office. I'm aware of the situation, she said before I could start. Dennis informed us you were upset about the promotion decision. Upset? I said. I was promised a position. I worked unpaid overtime for 6 months based on that promise. Then he gave it to his nephew who has 2 weeks of experience. Promotion decisions are at management's discretion. Nepotism isn't, I interrupted. And neither is asking employees to work unpaid overtime. I slid my documentation across the desk. Helen flipped through it. Her expression didn't change, but I saw her jaw tighten. I'll look into this, she said finally. I want the overtime compensated, I said. 6 months. Average 15 hours per week. And I want a formal investigation into the promotion decision. I can't promise anything. Then I'll file a complaint with the labor board, I said. And I'll CC the CEO on my documentation. Your choice. Helen looked at me for a long moment. I'll schedule a meeting with the executive team. The next 2 weeks were hell. Dennis avoided me. When we did interact, he was coldly professional. Trevor, now officially regional manager, strutted around the office like he owned it. He tried to give me assignments. Hey, I need this report by tomorrow, he said, dropping a file on my desk. That's not my job, I said. I'm your manager. Actually, I report to Dennis. Not you. Check the org chart. Trevor's face flushed. Uncle Dennis said. Take it up with HR. I interrupted. He stormed off. The other employees noticed. Started whispering. Choosing sides. A few of the older staff members approached me privately. We've seen what you've been doing, one said. The overtime. The sacrifices. This isn't right. That helped. A little. 3 weeks after the promotion announcement, HR called me back. Helen and 2 executives were in the room. Dennis wasn't there. We've reviewed your documentation, one of the executives said. His name was Richard, CFO. The overtime situation is concerning. Concerning? I repeated. Dennis had no authority to ask you to work unpaid overtime, Helen said. That's a clear violation of company policy and labor law. So what happens now? I asked. Richard exchanged a glance with the other executive. We're prepared to offer compensation for the unpaid hours. Full overtime rate. We calculate it at approximately $42,000. My heart jumped. $42,000. That was more than I expected. And the promotion? I asked. Silence. The promotion decision was made by management, Richard said carefully. While we acknowledge the circumstances were unfortunate, we can't reverse a promotion already given. Even though it was nepotism, I pressed. There's no explicit policy against hiring family members. But there are policies against favoritism that creates hostile work environments, I said. I'd done my research. And against managers making promises they don't intend to keep to extract free labor. Helen shifted uncomfortably. What do you want? Richard asked bluntly. I want Trevor removed from the position he didn't earn, I said. I want Dennis disciplined. And I want the promotion I was promised. That's not possible, Richard said. Then I'm filing complaints with the labor board and EOC, I said. And I'm talking to an employment lawyer. The executives exchanged looks. Give us a week, Richard finally said. That week was the longest of my life. I barely slept. Kept checking my phone, wondering if I'd pushed too hard, if they'd fire me, if I'd ruined my career. Nathan texted me out of nowhere. Heard through the grapevine about what happened at work. You okay? I stared at the message for a long time before replying. Not really, but fighting back. Good. You deserve better than how they treated you. It was nice to hear, even from an ex. 6 days after the meeting, HR called me again. Same conference room. Richard, Helen, and now the CEO, Douglas. We've made a decision, Douglas said. Dennis has been removed as department head, effective immediately. He'll be reassigned pending a full investigation into his management practices. I felt a surge of vindication. Trevor's promotion is being reversed, Douglas continued. He'll return to his entry-level position. And the regional manager position? I asked. We're reopening the search, Douglas said. You'll be given first consideration. In the meantime, you'll serve as acting regional manager with full management salary. Acting, not permanent, but it was something. The overtime compensation will be processed within 2 weeks, Helen added. And we're requiring all department heads to undergo management training on labor law and workplace ethics. I want it in writing, I said. All of it. Of course, Douglas said. They slid a document across the table. I read every word. Signed it. When I walked out of that conference room, I felt like I could breathe for the first time in months. Dennis was gone the next day, transferred to a different division, different floor. I never saw him again. Trevor lasted another week before quitting. Apparently, working an actual entry-level job was beneath him. I became acting regional manager, moved into the office, started building my own team. The $42,000 hit my account 2 weeks later. I paid off my credit cards, built up my savings, took a week of vacation, my first real time off in a year. 3 months later, they made my position permanent. Regional manager, official title, full salary, my own team. It wasn't the same as if they'd just given me the promotion when they should have. I'd lost 6 months of my life, lost my relationship, lost a friendship, lost sleep, health, peace of mind. But I'd fought back, and I'd won. I'm still at Westfield Analytics. It's been 8 months since everything happened. The department's different now. Better. I implemented strict policies about overtime. Everything has to be logged and compensated. No more unpaid hours. I hired 2 new analysts last month. Both were young women, early in their careers. During their interviews, I told them both the same thing. I value your time. I respect your work-life balance. And if I ever make you a promise about your career, I'll keep it. One of them teared up a little. Said her last boss had exploited her for a year with false promises. Not here, I told her. Not on my team. I think about Dennis sometimes. About how easily he dangled that promotion in front of me. How he extracted months of free labor. How he looked me in the eye and lied. Mostly I think about all the people like me who don't fight back. Who accept the betrayal. Who walk away with nothing. I almost did that. But I didn't. Melissa reached out last month. We met for coffee. It was awkward at first, but we're rebuilding. She understood why I'd missed the wedding, even if it hurt. Nathan and I are just friends now. Probably always will be. But he was right. I was married to my job. I'm trying to be better about that. Actually taking weekends off. Leaving at reasonable hours. Last week, the new department head, Dennis's replacement, complimented my work. Said the team's performance had improved significantly under my leadership. You're a natural manager, he said. I thanked him. Didn't mention that someone else had told me the same thing once. Right before he used it to exploit me. I learned a hard lesson these past months. People will take everything you're willing to give, especially if they can get it for free. Loyalty means nothing if it's not reciprocated, and promises are worthless without action. But I also learned something else. Fighting back is scary. Standing up for yourself when you've been wronged, really wronged, is terrifying. You risk losing everything. Your job, your reputation, your future. But sometimes, you risk more by staying silent. Dennis taught me that. Just not in the way he intended. I've started mentoring younger employees now. Really mentoring them. Teaching them about workplace rights. About documentation. About recognizing when they're being exploited. If someone promises you something, I tell them, get it in writing. If they ask you to work overtime, make sure you're compensated. And if they ever say family comes first while screwing you over, they laugh, but I'm serious. Remember that you're someone's family too. And you come first. That's something I forgot for 6 months. I won't forget again.